Ilia Topuria wants to be a triple champ.
A three-weight world champion. Yeah, this is my goal. Yeah. You're not gonna see him in the welterweight
This
division
motherfucker.
like this, skinny. You're gonna see me different. Yeah, that's the goal. Move up to the lightweight division, get that belt, and then move up to the welterweight division.
All right, so Ilia Topuria could become the first ever UFC three-weight division champion.
Three-weight world champion. This is my goal.
That's a bold shout, and that's a crazy shout. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen before this falls into place and becomes a reality. But it just might happen. How do we get there? Well, first of all, Islam Makhachev's moved up to 170. We know that. Let's just imagine that he becomes the champion. Let's imagine he beats Jack Della Maddalena, which isn't guaranteed, okay? But let's imagine that world, and let's imagine that Ilia Topuria defeats Charles Oliveira. Now,
Which I think he is going to get Charles on that fight. He's prime time right now. Charles is very hittable too. I mean, he's fantastic. He's all around good, but he gets cracked, and not many people get up after they get hit by Ilia.
I would say there's a very good chance of that happening because Charles Oliveira is awesome. He's great. He's entertaining. He's wild. He's exciting. He's very effective. He's got great jiu-jitsu, but he takes a lot of risks, okay? He goes forward. He's kind of reckless, okay? And that's why we love him, and that's why
I wouldn't say he's reckless. He's not reckless. He just mixes up all of his strikes very well. Sometimes he gets caught. Like, I don't think that's reckless.
So exciting, and that's why he's had so many finishes. But he does leave a lot of openings, and there's one thing about Ilia Topuria: the man is calculated, okay? He doesn't take risks. He takes his time. He sets things up. He looks for openings, and boom, and then when it's time to explode, he gets the finish. He has the power, and at 155 pounds, the power's going to be even more increased. It's just a fact. He's going to be stronger. He's not going to have those weight cuts. He's going to be a better athlete all round, okay? So let's just assume that he beats Charles Oliveira, okay? Now he's the lightweight champion of the world. He's become a two-weight division champ. As I said, we assume that Islam beats Jack Della Maddalena. That is not a given, okay? And by the way, there is going to be other people that want to fight Ilia Topuria. Paddy Pimblett is calling him out. You know, this goes back a couple of years now.
Paddy needs a couple more fights. Then maybe we can talk about that one.
Paddy Pimblett calling him water bottle boy and all this type of hand sanitizer boy, whatever it was, okay?
You know, when I saw him last time, he got a hand sanitizer bottle bounced off his foot.
I don't understand you or anything. Back in the flouty mouth.
Dude, what happened right there?
The bottle bounced off his foot.
I don't understand you or anything. Back in the flouty mouth, like what?
Hand sanitizer.
He's gonna.
You think Paddy's gonna beat Justin Gaethje?
Easy.
Wow.
Paddy, by the way, is calling out Justin Gaethje, which I really respect.
He's not going to beat him easy. Nobody beats him easy. Yeah. Literally, I've never seen him get beat easily in the UFC, Justin Gaethje. Never. Khabib was probably the closest, and that still went to round 2.
Fair play to Paddy Pimblett.
I know for the fact that if I beat Gaethje, I'm next in line, definitely.
Do you think that's the next fight for you?
It could be, yeah. It's just if he says yeah or not, isn't it?
Who would have thought?
Gaethje will take your fucking head off, though. He's dangerous against anybody.
He'd be calling out Justin Gaethje a year ago. And if he gets through Justin Gaethje, he deserves a title fight. That's just a fact, right? But if Islam beats Jack Della Maddalena, right, we know this fight's going to happen. Islam versus Topuria, these two are destined to meet. The only way it doesn't is if, according to Ilia, he continues to duck him, just like John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall, okay? Right? That would be the only way.
I kind of agree with that.
Because Ilia wants to fight him. So he's out there. He's roaming around the mountains of Kazakhstan right now saying, where the is my title shot? Okay, granted he had an injury, but sure, he's going to be back soon. Leon Edwards lost his last two to Sean Brady and Bilal Muhammad, but he's still ranked number 4. Kamara Usman's going up against Joaquin Buckley. Either one of those guys, they're going to want a title fight. We've got Ian Machado Gary, that was just a backup fighter as well. What I'm saying is, regardless of who wins between Jack and Islam, okay, there is a long list of viable and worthy contenders at 170 pounds.
Yeah, the welterweight division is probably the most stacked it has been in like years. When Kamaru Usman was the champion, he was just lapping people. Like he lapped what's it, Kobe Covington. Who else did he beat twice? Jorge Masvidal. He beat Gilbert Burns. I don't think he lapped him though, but I mean, he beat, when he was defending, he was just defending against the same people.
Granted, if Ilia becomes the champion, if he beats Charles, and if Islam becomes the champ, there is a pathway for Ilia Topuria becoming a 3-weight division champion, which would just be insane. He would have to abandon 155 pounds the same way that he vacated 145.
Short, though,
there's no way they're doing double
there.
champs anymore, and they certainly ain't going to do a 3-weight simultaneous champ. That just fucks the game up for everyone. But if he vacated...
I think he's not going to hold on to the 155. I don't know if they're even going to do that anymore, but I don't know. He's short. He's stocky, but he's short. And everybody, like even Charles Oliveira, who he's fighting next, is huge. He's a huge lightweight. And if he goes up to welterweight, those guys are they're even bigger. So, I don't know. Anything could be done, but
came to 170, great. You know, this is like dream stuff now and a lot of if, but, and maybes, but it's possible. But I'm just saying the number one barrier, I don't know, is the number one barrier to Ilia becoming a 3-weight division champion isn't so much Islam Makhachev. It's all the killers at 170 pounds. He's already become a 1-weight champ, a 2-weight champ. I favor him to beat Charles Oliveira, so let's just assume that's done.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, 2 defenses, 3 defenses, he's probably going to move up again, okay? Which is crazy, okay? All this moving around and jumping up a weight class, I know it's sexy and people want to talk about it and they can market it as champion versus champion. Stay in your weight class and beat everybody. Simple as that. At lightweight, Islam's still got work to do there. There's Ahmed Sarukian. There's Justin Gaethje. There's Mateusz Gamrot. There's Paddy Pimblett, for crying out loud, okay? Everyone's just jumping around. Stay in your weight class and defend against all of the contenders. That's what people need to do. That's what fighters used to do. That's what Anderson Silva did. That's what George St. Pierre did. That's what Alejandro Pantoja is doing right now. But still, for the sake...
Well, I think who started this whole thing off was Conor McGregor. Like, he kind of started the whole just jump around and fight anybody at any class, any weight class kind of thing. He was kind of the first guy to do it. Yeah, pretty sure he was. He just jumped around. Featherweight, lightweight, welterweight. So, kind of changed the landscape a little bit.
Make some content and for the sake of dreaming big, La Leyenda, it's El Matador. That's what he wants to do, and he gives us something to talk about, and you know what? It makes it bloody exciting. But in the welterweight division, Michael Morales, we didn't even mention him. There's Carlos Pratis as well. You got Jeff Neal and Colby Covington. They're kind of old school, and Stephen Thompson. But the new generation of welterweights that are coming through, as I said, Carlos Pratis, Michael Morales, Joaquin Buckley. He's not new, but he's been around for a bit. Of course, there's Shavkat Rakhmonov, Sean Brady, and Jack Della Maddalena. 170 just became the glamour division of the entire UFC. It is by far, right now, the most stacked. Anyway, what do you think? Am I talking out of my ass? Will Ilia Topuria ever become a 3-weight division champion? Will Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria?
Yeah, I don't know if he will or not, but if the time is now, because he's literally in his prime, he's getting better and he's still putting people away. And so I think the time is within the next couple years if he's going to do something like that. I think he could do it, but he's small, or like he's not small, but he's just short and compared to everybody else. I don't know if that even matters, but maybe he is just, in my opinion, too small for 170. Those guys are huge, man. Yeah.